done yet. What's up, everybody? How we doing tonight? With me tonight is my brother Tanner from Ghost Hunter Advice. What's up, brother? How you doing?
Hey, man, it's been a minute.
Well, both literally and figuratively, absolutely.
Yeah, right.
We were backstage just hanging out, having some fun. And
60 seconds ago.
Yeah, pretty much. We got Jonathan Myers from Crossover Paranormal Society. I don't know if you've had a chance to sit down and talk with this guy, brother, but this man right here is freaking he's a great guy. I love him. And he runs out of Parapig Studios.
Nice.
I love it. But hey, Jonathan, how you doing, brother? Miss you. So tonight, folks, I know I said I wasn't going to start this EMF podcast, the Empowering My Field podcast, until next week, which is true. This is kind of a warm-up. This is a little teaser for you guys to have some fun, to relax. And Tanner, you know me very well, brother. You know that when I get an idea, when something stirs in me, I got to get it out. And I'll tell you, after I don't know if you saw it, but I was on Paranormal Highway with a guy named Eric. After that, I was hooked, and I got the itch back. And that's when this show was, I pulled the trigger for this one, so to speak. And then after my last little live, I was like, I got to go live. And one of the things you and I were talking about during this little break was positivity, overcoming obstacles, and just basically relearning yourself. And I know that sounds weird to some people, because some people are like, what do you mean relearning yourself? Well, we're going to discuss that a little bit tonight. And it's something that really draws me. And I know you are the same way. We are big advocates in mental health. Mental health is something that is very, very important to not just the paranormal field, but everybody in general. But we're going to talk about that tonight. We're also going to talk about what this show, EMF, the Empowering My Field, what it really is about. And I told Tanner he's going to be my little guinea pig for tonight. We're going to have some fun with this one. But it's very, very, very important, folks, that if you haven't already, please share this video out, because somebody needs to hear this. It may not be you, but somebody might. This is a very important video tonight. So I know that was a very, very long-winded introduction. I've been pent up for a while, folks. If you know, so I had to get this out. It was a little. I'm getting back to it. So, but anyway, Tanner, brother, thank you so much for joining me tonight. And how you been? Oh,
thanks, man. I've been good. I think 2023 into 2024 was rough for a lot of people. It's been a lot of change.
Mm-hmm.
I like to talk about things retrospectively. It's always, for me, it's better to talk about things like after I've gone through it. I can pick the lessons out. I mean, Ghost Hunter Advice, the whole, there's the wrong side there.
Hey, I was practicing, believe it or not, before my last live. I was sitting there like, okay, Global Ghost is here, Parapost is over here, this is over here. Okay.
Yep. Now it's retrospectively, I can actually make it count. It's not just me like venting online. I can actually say something that could help people that are going through things.
Yeah.
And it's just picking lessons out of this one has been fun. But there's so much negativity and stuff out there that it's really cool that we're doing this here tonight, and you've got this show going in general to talk about things like we're all ghost hunters, we're all paranormal investigators or paranormal enthusiasts. So yeah, there's that, and obviously a lot of things are going to tie back and circle back to that. But there's so much more stuff that we do A lot of us are writers, content creators in other fields, business owners. I'm a huge advocate for leadership development, sales development, and personal professional development.
Mhm.
I train and mentor people, and I love that. It's one of the reasons I started this, to be able to do it in this field the same way I do it at work. And yeah, no, it's just cool to see the other side of people, because even with the TV shows, like ghost hunting and like the industry of the paranormal is changing. If you notice, Travel Channel and Discovery Plus dropped almost all of the investigation shows, and they went back to the old format of doing the reenactment and the voiceover stuff, the more traditional documentary stuff. I'm a fan of that. I like that. I like those shows. Yeah, but those are gone. If you notice, a lot of people's lives changed. There's a guy I know, David Childers, was talking about getting out of the paranormal. I don't know if he did or not. He did.
I know he's planning to make a couple of appearances at some conventions.
Good.
And I follow Dave, and
Mhm.
I'll tell you what, if you ever hear this, I'd love to get you on the show, just to even talk, and hang out and see what makes you tick. Because there's not a lot of people in the paranormal field, and I think, Tanner, you know this,
Mhm.
that if you're the popular investigator, I don't want to say I don't have respect for you, but I put you in the back burner. Like, I'll get to you when I have a chance. But David's different. He's different.
He's a good investigator. I've investigated with him before. He and I were involved with American Ghost Society at the same time.
Nice.
I don't know if he remembers me. We were at a hotel in Mississippi, in Jackson, Mississippi, doing a bunch of stuff with AGS. And he's a good investigator. Like, he's not just a TV personality. And like when I saw his post, I was like, crap, he's actually a good one. But like Jason Halls, he's running his own YouTube channel now since Ghost Hunter shut down. Taps is still going. He's doing some pretty cool stuff, and we're seeing more independent creation. So it was like this really scary time for a lot of people who do this for the livelihood. Yeah. But I think a lot of cool stuff's coming out of it, because it's as independent creators like us. So I prefer to do this stuff, the voiceover, the documentary stuff, as far as my content that I produce. Mm-hmm. But those guys that do the live investigations, I know Jason's doing this cool 360 thing. So you can put on a VR headset and it's like you're there with them, and you have 360-degree view around the team as they're walking around. It's cool.
So, Brian, if you're watching, I have some ideas for Global Ghost Hunt.
It's pretty cool. Like, I started going through his stuff. It's experimental, but he's got the funds to do it, and he's already got a bunch of sponsors and stuff for that. But I think a lot of really cool stuff is going to happen in the independent space, and it puts Parapost in a really good spot, because they've been operating independently, or we've been operating independently forever.
Yeah, we really have. And don't worry, folks. Myself and I know Tanner, we still interact with everybody. I see you guys in the chat, and you know what, I have to say, you guys are really awesome. I love everybody, and that's another reason why I want to do the show, that EMF, that why I'm doing this. So let me say hello to everyone real quick. We have Kasara with us. I hope I said your name right. I'm sorry if I didn't. How are you? I love that logo. I love that picture. Isn't that awesome? Little white tiger. Love it. My brother Cyrus, grumpy old bastard. What's up, man? How you doing? I love Cyrus. There's not a lot of people that I hang out with, Tanner. I think you know this. I've said this before on the shows. Like, locally, I really don't hang out with anybody like near me. This guy, he's become such a brother to me. I hired him for Domino's a couple years ago. I think he said 7 years ago now, and we've been like best friends ever since. A little bit of Beavis and Butthead, but it's still the same. We still have a lot of fun. Judy, oh my gosh, Judy, I miss you. I miss you, Judy. Hello. I'm back. I'm sorry, but I'm back. And Gabriel's another one who I really love doing. Another reason why I wanted to do this show, because we have all these amazing people in our community, and I know with Ghost Hunter Advice it's the same way. We get to know these people online. We get to know these people online. We get to know their stories a little bit here and there, but we really don't know what makes them tick. Like, we know the paranormal, but we don't know very, very much else. And people like Gabriel and Judy, and Liz is another one. Liz is a huge supporter. Liz Milne. she's a huge supporter of us, and that's something that I want to get back. I want to get to know these people, and I want to, step outside of the paranormal, but still stay in bounds. Kind of, well, you need to go back and forth. So,
well, like we do so much in the paranormal that even our hobbies tie back to it. So, like when we're talking about like writing, my hobby's writing, and I was putting out like I wrote 5 novels, and I just this year have geared everything in my writing back toward paranormal to take what I learned about narrative and really tell some of these local stories and tell the investigation process in a way that's actually entertaining while it teaches.
oh, absolutely. And I was gonna start with the self stuff first, but you just brought something up, so you guys know me. There's no script, so we're just go off the hip here. But you said about you being an author. I have to give you huge props. And I really do. And I said this on my last live, and I don't know if you saw it or not, but I have to give you huge props, brother.
Oh,
because no matter, I mean, we've known each other, I think it's almost 2 years now. And I know when I get stuck on things, when I'm trying to figure out stuff, like I'm trying to put my jigsaw puzzle together, Brian's been there to help me, of course. Fedora, Scott Morton from Warren Area Society of Paranormal, or WASP. He's been there. He's fedorable. Love him. Obviously, the Wicked Queen has been here. You've taken a different role in my life, and I really, really appreciate you. You give me ideas that, to be honest, I've never thought of. You've given me different ways to look at things, and it's not just like I see things. I don't want to say in black and white. I do see spectrum. I do think outside the box. But some of the things you've told me and you've helped me with, it's like F the box. Like you've taken the box, burned it down, and said what box. And I got to give you credit for that. And
thanks.
You actually were one of the main reasons why I started my book. And I have to say thank you for that.
Absolutely, man.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, there's Jen Jacobs from Eclipse. What's up, Jen?
But like that's the exact type of influence in the role that I try to be for people. It's if you have a problem, the answer is not always in the box, or the way forward isn't always the way forward that everyone else has done, especially today. Like industry has changed. Like okay, so this is an example of something stupid that I did. I went through all this stuff for the past couple of years to get into real estate. I'm good at sales and leadership are my 2 things that I like if I got to move industry, I know I can do that.
Yeah.
I got into real estate sales and as an agent, and then there was this massive lawsuit that was settled. I don't know if you saw the news where it was like end of the 6% commission, and
I heard bits and pieces.
It's all lies. So basically, the news
media lies to us.
Oh yeah, right. We're like, that's never been a thing. It's never been like that. We're not changing anything about the way that we're doing business. But we went through this like 3-month cycle of just this nightmare of trying to educate people. And I was like, I got to get another job. I got to do something just to get through this hump. And so I'm door dashing, and I'm just like doing everything that I can to make sure that my bottom line is being paid. And I had this thing that I did. It's I'm not gonna say the name of the company, but it's
of course.
It's a company for salespeople. Like if you are in between gigs or whatever, or if you're new and you want sales training, basically you're doing appointment setting and it's commission only. Mm-hmm. But I didn't do it because I was like, that's too weird. That's too out there. It's not going to work. And I started going to the line because I got myself mentally into a place and mentally worked up where I couldn't see a way out of it.
Yeah.
And my choices became this or that. And I only had 2. Like whenever you do that, usually it's because you're so stressed out, you can't see the entire picture and everything around you. And I finally just said, screw it. I'm going to start making the calls from this company that seems super weird. And I went from literally like negative $4 in the bank to like 1,600 in a day. And I was like, shit. So like when what I learned from that is if I ever or anybody ever gets into a space where you're like, I have to do this or this is going to happen, I only have one way forward, I'm being forced forward like a cow going into a slaughterhouse. There is something that you missed, and you just have to take time away from everything to just stop, look, and get a way forward. And I realized that I was getting swept up in the media stuff and all the negative shit that was flying around in social media and TikTok and all that. And I took a second to breathe and I'm like, huh. And now, like, career wise, it's back on track.
Mhm.
And it's because I looked outside the box and did something weird.
And it's funny how that happens,
Mhm.
and we're gonna go back and forth, folks, because again, it's what I do.
It's all connected.
Yeah. But that's the one of the reasons why I took this little sabbatical. And I don't even want to call it a sabbatical. It's because even though I wasn't doing the shows, I wasn't doing the consultancy, I wasn't doing, my norm, I was still listening. I was still watching. Like, I'd be in chats, just wouldn't say anything. A lot of it on YouTube, oddly enough, just because unlike Facebook, it doesn't announce when you're there. Which, huge shout out to Facebook, by the way. 5 minutes after the show started, I got the notification that I was live. So
Right.
appreciate it. Uh, but I want everyone to understand, and I think Tanner and I are on the same page with this one. You can't do things for other people as much as we love to do things for people. I mean, I like Tanner, love sales. I love sales. I love marketing. I love the thrill of it. There's nothing better than selling something. And there's different techniques, and we could I mean, I'm sure Tanner and I could sit here for 2 hours and talk about different sales tips and tricks. And some people call it a silver tongue. And it's really not. It's more of I don't want to make it sound negative, but it's more of a manipulation.
Influence, I think, is a better
Okay,
word there.
I like that one. Yeah.
Because you're with if you're doing sales and if you're doing it ethically, you've got something that you believe in that you're selling. That's it's something that someone needs. It's going to make their life better, and you're pushing someone to do something that's good for them. As a personal trainer and a coach, it was get to the gym. You need to eat this instead of this if you want this result, and getting that influence in people's lives to guide them to make a better decision for themselves. And that's what sales is. Earlier today, yesterday, one of the things through that company was a thing that literally saved people 30 to 40% on their return rates. So it was putting on a small company, somebody running a small company out of their house. It was potentially on the high end, putting $75,000 back into their pocket, and on the low end, putting $30,000 back into their pocket. And it was only a couple grand for the year for the platform. Yeah. And it's stuff like that. It's not really manipulation. It's, listen, this is your problem. This is a great solution that I think is going to work for you. Or on the flip side of that, I have just as many calls with real estate training, whatever it is. I have just as many calls where I'm like, listen, this is not a good fit for you. I think you're better off going down the road.
Yeah. And that's one thing that to me even drives my passion for sales and marketing is when you get behind something and when you want to do something, I don't want to say it takes over your life, but it really helps you as much as it helps your clientele. Like, prime example, I think you could back me on this one, Parapost.
Mm-hmm.
When Brian brought the idea of Parapost to me when it was still in its infancy, I was like, let's go. Why haven't we started? And I sit here and I promote Parapost, Global Ghost Hunt, Ghost Hunter Advice, and all these different things. And no matter good or bad what's happened, I promote it out because I truly believe in it. But there's one thing that I think a lot of hosts, and what I mean by hosts is like the podcast and these shows, we sit here, we promote the shows, we promote products, we promote our guests, we promote whatever we're promoting, but there's something missing that a lot of people forget about, and that's themselves.
Yep.
And Tanner said something before we started tonight, and I want you to recoup about or reiterate what it was that saying you had.
Yeah, we pour a lot of ourselves into our shows. We pour a lot out for the audience, the people that we're talking to, and we're providing something for most people that's pretty uplifting. Most of the shows here are fairly positive. but you can't pour from an empty cup. If you're not putting back into yourself, you're not going to have anything to give your audience. You're not going to have anything to give your clients, and you're not going to have anything, more importantly, to give your family and the people that are closest to you. So your life just goes to shit. When your life goes to shit, your show goes to shit. I mean, everything's connected there.
Absolutely. And I always use the saying to people, and I've said it to Mackenzie, the Wicked Queen. I said it to my daughter actually today, because I love my daughter, but some days just I see your mother showing. Stop it. Anyway, you can't take care of other people unless you take care of yourself first, and it's absolutely true. And that's why me personally, I took this little break. Because I was to the point, and it just, you can only fill a cup up so much before it starts to overflow. And some of us have bigger cups than others. And I'm not talking anything, I'm saying as a general statement. You can only do so much. And I got to the point, and I'll get a little personal, because I told you folks before, and nothing has changed. There are no secrets with me. I'm an open book, literally and figuratively. You want to know, just ask. And I got to the point of a depressed state that was so bad. Things were not passionate for me. I had no passion whatsoever. Nothing was fulfilling me. And I love my wife to death. I love the Wicked Queen. But I was to a point where even the stuff that I love doing, like Paravid Studios, I mean, Tanner, you've seen when my A game's on, I feel like I do some decent work. I'm not saying I'm a professional, but I enjoy it. I think it's fun. The shows are the same way. And I've told you guys in the chat this before. If I can't give you my 100%, I'm giving you nothing. If I can't be 100%, I'm not going to do the shows. Well, I got to the point where I was just so overwhelmed. I was going through a lot in my personal life. I had a lot going on in my work life. Cyrus, I don't know if he's still in the chat, but he'll tell you, I was not me. I know I made commitments to some people. I do. Do I regret taking the break? I did at first. And I think we've all been there. We've all been there initially. Once you take that step back, you have regret in your feelings. Like you just have that overwhelming sensation of, what did I just do? But that's the big, to me, I don't know about you, Tanner, but to me, that is the biggest hurdle to get over. We are our own biggest critics in more ways than one. And honestly, like, I got to the point where I just didn't care. I didn't care. And I'm not saying I didn't care about you guys, or, I didn't care about, Tanner or Scott, Brian. I see Raymond's in chat. What's up, Raymond? Newsome Paranormal. I just got to a point where I didn't care about Matt. And honestly, folks, I think we've all been there before. And I'm telling you folks this right here and now. Whatever you do in life, do it 100%. Will you succeed? No. But you know what? And I think, Tanner, you'll back me up on this. Some of the best accomplishments are our failures.
Yeah, they're the best lessons, definitely. Well, that's where this entire show came from. The last episode I recorded was about positivity, but it was more about how to get rid of negative attachments and negative spiritual attachments. But it's a lot that goes into this. My mistakes were my greatest lesson. I don't learn much when I win. When I was a private investigator, when cases went well, they didn't stick out. If I had something that went wrong every year, when I was closing things out in December, as part of getting things ready for taxes, I would pull out my most problem cases for that year. And I would usually work, I'm a single investigator, so I would work somewhere between 20 and 30 different cases annually. And I would pull out my worst 5 because not all of them are going to go well. And I would find out, like, okay, so what went wrong here? Do I need a different setup for the car? Was the camera too slow getting out? What could I have done to go different here? And those were the lessons that I learned in business. When when I played things too crazy with my PI agency, and I got too far over my skis, and then I started to get my strength back because I started to correct, but the pandemic hit. It was too
Mhm.
late because the pandemic hit and everything shut down. I learned a huge lesson there from that failure, that business failing. Um, I learned a lot of business from my fitness business. Like I still run it a little bit, but it's nowhere near what it used to be. Again, because of where I let myself get with liability during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Those lessons were hard learned, and those are lessons that I've taken to younger people, younger professionals in the field, to help them avoid them. And I've got to help a lot of people avoid that mistake going into this business with Truly Odd Studios, and going into my real estate ventures. Um, I play things a lot safer. I'm still creative, and I still take those things that made me win those fights in the first place and get that business in the first place. But I limit my liability because of getting my ass kicked. Um,
Well, and see, that's the thing. Like, I feel like when, and I said it, when we fail, and I think you said the same thing, we learn the most when we fail.
Mhm.
When you accomplish something, when you achieve something, there's really nothing else to change.
Mhm.
But here's the thing: there's always something you could do better,
Yep.
and there's always a way. And I think, me personally, some of my failures, some of the things that I failed at, just like taking this break, I took too much on, and I didn't balance. I didn't balance my personal life, my professional life, my career, and I didn't balance the paranormal,
Mhm.
my passions. And I got to the point where I just needed to take that step back and, just like you, reevaluate. I reevaluated what I was doing, how I was doing it, what was making me succeed, what was making me fail. And the things that we succeed in, like, for example, doing these shows. Tanner, you are very well spoken. You have a
Thank you.
great vocabulary, you're very intelligent, and you can hold a really great conversation.
Thank you.
Me, I am kind of off the hip, have fun. You never know what's going to come out of my mouth. I don't even know what's going to come out of my mouth. We can come up with a game plan, but halfway through, it's like, yeah, F that. But I think that's why you and I connect very well, is because we can speak very well. We can
Mhm.
listen, we can interact, we can go off the hip. And when stuff like that happens and it works, when something works, it just becomes second nature.
Mhm.
So to me, that's already a check in the box. It's already done. So what I want to do, and what I like to do, and what I've started doing, is I go back, just like you, to your old cases. I go looking at some of these other shows. What shows weren't getting
Yep.
the most views? What shows weren't getting shared out? Which ones did I really sit back and go, you know what? This could have went better. And the number one thing I found is it didn't matter. It didn't matter. And the reason why, because it already happened.
Yep.
So for me, working off script and doing this new show, EMF, that is something that, again, I've got a passion about. But at the same time, I want to look deeper into our audience and into our community.
Mhm.
We all know how much passion we all have for the paranormal. Like Raymond. Raymond has a great passion for the paranormal, just not a flashlight, because you never see them when he's out investigating. Had to get a shot in. And we all start to know what everybody likes and how they investigate, stuff like that. But what really comes down to it is we don't know what makes each other tick. We don't know what other things makes this person unique. And like Jonathan Myers, he was in chat earlier. I don't know if he's still here or not. I hope he is. He loves baseball cards. He collects them. I know very little about baseball cards, but how cool would it be to get and talk with him, sit down and find out more about it?
Mhm.
Find out what really makes, what's so passionate about it. Like, we were talking about anime. I love Dragon Ball Z, DBZ, Dragon Ball, GT, Super, all of it. Love it. Obviously, I love
Yep.
Pikachu. I love Pokemon. I mean, I love Power World. I just started playing that, and too much time on that. The surgery has given me a lot of playtime. But that's something that I really think could be a lot of fun, and it really could be a way to reconnect our communities. Screw the paranormal. Screw the politics. Screw the drama.
The politics is imaginary. I just have to say that right there.
It really is.
Guys, nobody cares. Nobody fucking cares. It is the politics, the drama that you see on these shows, on reality TV shows, is scripted. I know the people who script it. It's not real. So all of these fights and things that people are doing for views, most people know that it's the character there. The producers and everybody that are watching those guys, they know that that's not really them. There's one person in particular. I don't want to get sued, so I'm not going to name him, but he's 90% of Travel Channel. That's not him. Like the drama, the stuff that like kicks up, that's a public persona made by studios and a brand. It's a very, very effective brand. But when we're on these shows and we're doing this and there's all this back and forth and somebody marks and labels somebody difficult to deal with because producers from all of these studios that are pitching to A&E and Discovery Plus are watching things like this. At Truly Odd Studios, we have some things that we're looking at bringing out 2025 where I need voice talent, people to go out and do stuff. We're watching this to see like who has a good voice for this, who's going to be hard to work with, who's trash talking everybody because people don't want to work with that. So there's these people that are just absolutely destroying their careers because of crap they're saying on shows. Some of them are big, some of them are what I call practice shows where it's just a very small audience where you find your voice. You can really shoot yourself in the foot by being too negative. Sorry, that was
no, no, you're fine. You're fine. And see, that's something else too. We need to get this out. This has to get out. And like when politics goes way beyond just Republicans, Democrats, stuff like that. I mean, even within networks and even within communities, and I'm not just talking paranormal. So before anybody starts on me, I'm not even just talking about that. I'm talking about all communities, and everywhere we go, everything we do, sales, careers, marketing, everything, everything has politics. And what's really sad is some of the things that people put out there as different, actually, we have the same. We have the same mentality. It's the same thought process. Or it's just straight up ignorance. And I'm not saying ignorant as the negative. I'm saying you don't know. You don't have all the facts. We've said before, there's side A, side B, and then the actual truth. There's three sides to everything. And, even as a private investigator, same thing. You're being told one thing by one party. The next party comes in, says something completely different, and come to find out it's a mix of both. And that's the truth.
That's why we have an adversarial system, so that you can find the truth, and that theoretically that's how it's supposed to work anyway.
No, again, politics, but like even, and I don't want to get too deep into politics, but even the Republicans and Democrats. Let's talk about that for a second. It's election time. Everyone's campaigning, and which, by the way, little tangent. I don't know if you probably have, but outside of the New York courthouse, there was that gentleman who set himself on fire. I don't know if you saw about that. Yeah, right outside of the courthouse where Trump was on trial, which, by the way, that is just, I'm not going to get into that. But anyway, he, I guess, threw some pamphlets or some kind of material all over the courtyard area or over by the park area, and then basically lit himself on fire as a protest. Number one, dumb. Your point's not being made. You're just being a spectacle. If you really want to make your voice heard, do something productive, not destructive. But that being said, I did hear he is in critical condition. So even though he did do what he did, I do hope that he is okay. I hope he and everybody that was hurt at that time, I hope they come out okay. I hope everybody heals quickly. And, it's stuff like that that just bothers me. that that you feel like you have to go to that extreme.
Mhm.
Regardless, I don't care whether you're a Democrat, Republican. I think of myself as a realist. I don't care if you're Democrat, Republican, Trump, Biden, whatever. But me personally, just like with politics in the paranormal and everything else, we all have theories, which is right, but we all have opinions, and everybody's opinion is correct. I want to say that again so you guys actually hear me. Everyone's opinion is correct. And what I mean is, if like Tanner might like something about, let's go Dragon Ball, talk about DBZ real quick. You may say the greatest character in there is Vegeta. I may sit there and say, no, it's Goku. Fact remains, we still like Dragon Ball.
The fact is, it's Piccolo, but there's a
Well,
no, there's and what you're saying
It's
here, like,
Yamcha.
the thing is that
Krillin-
opinion, yeah, right. We treat opinions like they're facts, and they're not. And that's where a lot of this stuff has come from, and the divide. You and I are on complete polar opposites on a lot of politics, but we're not at each other's, and we're friends. You don't have to go after everybody's opinion that's different than yours. Honestly, there's been and I've said this on my show, there's been a lot of things that I thought were fact with the paranormal that after observation and after having a wider caseload, I've been able to say, no, I don't think it works that way. Or, hey, I think there's something else at play here too. And just like my opinion, which is that's all it is right now with paranormal, can change with new information. It's not right or wrong. It just, it's what you're feeling.
I use the example, especially with the paranormal, like everything is theory. But here's the example I use. I can sit here and tell you in my 20 years of investigating that every spirit is the color purple. Can you prove me right? Nope. Can you prove me wrong? Nope. Because again, my opinion.
It's subjective. So like there's if we look in parapsychology, and we're getting on paranormal for a minute, there's a theory that spirits show themselves not by actually interacting with the physical world, but by appearing somewhere between the stimulus to your to the light coming into your eyes and it being processed by your brain. Because your eyes don't see stuff; they don't work like a camera. Your brain basically codes it and creates what we see as reality around us, and they think that spirits can somehow interact with that to overlay themselves. So the way that they're doing that and the way that they're overlaying themselves over what you're seeing, they could all be purple to you. That could be absolutely right.
And see, now here's what's fun. And the whole point of all this, folks, is our differences bring us together. And what's really cool, especially, and I'm really excited for this show. And don't get me wrong, I love the Paraverse. I love the Paracast. What I did with Sarah and Carlos, was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I had a blast with it. But this show is something completely different. And I'm not talking What the Paranormal with Raymond, because that was way out there. And
that was out there, yeah.
But it was fun. It was fun. This show, EMF, is going to change a lot of different things for the better. And what it's going to do is it's going to bring people closer together. It's not just the paranormal anymore. It's going to be whatever makes you tick. Like, let's go with you being an author. And you obviously have a passion for it.
I love stories.
Big passion. Huge passion.
Narrative is one of the most important things I've found through doing investigations as a PI. The narrative was important. A lot of my cases, I would go before a judge and they have to read the evidence. And the attorney, there's one attorney in particular who was reading my report and he's like, I was bored and my day was going bad. And then I saw your name on a report and I knew it was going to be good. So like it,
go ahead.
There was how we describe things and how we see the world super subjective. And when you're right, and when you put that down into a narrative, you get to share that with people. You get to share what's in here that they can't normally hear about how you express or how you see things. And even in fiction, the way that I describe a forest is the way that I see it in my mind, and being able to share that with people is cool. Even with nonfiction, most of the stuff that I've published is nonfiction. And that's actually been my biggest pull is nonfiction, where people were reading it and they're just like, I love the way that you said this. I feel the exact same way about this, but I haven't been able to put it into words. And I give people a vocabulary or a vernacular to say things, and I think that's cool.
And you know, it's funny because I'm not a book guy. I'm not. Unless it's a pop-up or coloring book. I'll even go with sticker book, but half the stickers go somewhere else. But I'm not a book guy. But and I said this earlier, but you were the reason that I pulled the trigger on my book. And you know, it's when we have a passion for something, it brings us together in more ways than what you would expect. And which is another reason why I want to do this show, because when you told me you were an author, and I've read some of the things you've written, whether it's from GHA or whether it's from whatever, you know, I got hooked. I was like, I really wish I could do this. And then, believe it or not, Raymond is an author too. Raymond,
he's got a few books out,
and Raymond's really good. And the one thing that I've always been taught, and I think you've even said this to me, write something that you're passionate about. Write something you know. Whether it's right or wrong, write about it. And, you know, the one thing that I know and I like, that's obviously the paranormal. And we have books on different things and different topics with the paranormal, but the one thing that we don't have is an actual guide.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have a legit guide to help these newer investigators out. And I know when I first started in the field, I didn't have a support network like we do now. There was no Parapost network. There was no podcasts. There was no, you know, networking of any kind. It was very territorial. And they're still out there today. Like
a little, yeah.
Yeah. And like here in central Pennsylvania, there are very few teams that'll work with you completely, like what we have on Parapost and, you know, what we've become with like the local ghost hunt and everything else. And, you know, this book I'm writing is exactly that. It's a how-to, and it's from my perspective. But what I really like is what we're up to. Give a shout out, Raymond. Go ahead. But what I really like about the show and this community, and that I'm really excited about, is we get to learn more about each other. And who's to say, like, to be honest, I had no idea you liked Dragon Ball. Now that you just opened a can of worms, by the way. But what I really like is we get to learn more about each other. And what's really cool is I can guarantee you there's going to be people out there who are going to sit there and go, you know what? I do like this one. Like, we could do a show on anime. Like, I saw Raymond's an anime nerd too. We can have a conversation on that. We can talk about anime. What's your favorite anime? What style of anime do you like? And we can also learn more about different topics and different people and different things. Like, one of the things I really want to talk about, and I'm going to try to get somebody on, is the furry community. I'm dead serious.
Be here for that. I want to be here, please.
The reason why is the furry community is so thought negatively of. People have a very bad opinion of the furry community. I almost said paranormal, but
also yes,
the paranormal is a little more accepted. But
now, dude, 20 years ago when I got started, I was the freak.
I still am.
I got a really good. I've got a good story for that, but I don't want to interrupt your role.
No. But no, like, not a lot of people understand the positive things that the furry community provides for people. I mean, hell, Pittsburgh basically shuts down and caters to the community. Why? Because we bring millions of dollars in on a weekend. 3 days, millions of dollars in about a 5-block radius.
We is in Pittsburgh, or we is in you've got a Fox uniform, or in the
no, an actual Pittsburgh, Steel City. Steel City loves furries.
Which we,
but no, in all seriousness, like, not a lot of people understand it, and I want people to learn, because that's why we're here, right? We're here to learn about each other. We're here to have fun, interact, and I want to know what makes everybody tick? What are some things that you like to do that's not just paranormal? I mean, we'll talk paranormal, obviously. I mean, the paranormal consultant. Of course, we're going to talk paranormal, but it's okay to talk about anything. Fishing, mechanics. I don't know if I've said anything before, but I'm looking into getting getting a motorcycle or a
Nice.
moped or something like that. Like, I just think it'd be more beneficial and cost efficient for me. Like, that's something I'm starting to, one of my interests I'm looking into. I'm studying up for. So I'm not just gonna, just go and just start, because I know really nothing.
I'll give you an opinion. So I rode for forever.
Mm.
I really, my whole family were into Harleys. I ended up going more with it was a Suzuki, not a crotch rocket. It was a Suzuki. It was their C series. It was their cruisers. But their Metros, they're beautiful. They're fantastic. They're half the price of a Harley Davidson
Mhm.
and just as fun to ride. But if you do go with a Harley your size, do like a 1200 night train Sportster to start off with. Wonderful bikes, lots of power, fast, kind of rugged looking, Mad Max-ish.
See,
Um,
I've always been a sport type of guy. So
Really?
I was oh yeah. So I was thinking maybe a Ninja 400,
Uh,
or something on the smaller side.
a 400's a cool. 800, I think, is going to be probably your sweet spot,
Hmm.
just from your size. How tall are you?
5'10".
5'10". Okay, yeah, a Ninja might do it. I was always more comfortable on the 800s. It's enough power to get you out of a situation if something's going on the highway, and it feels good. The 400s are a little bit too soft. But I really like the Suzuki. It was their Metro series, and they have an 800 in the Metro that's nice. It is sexy, and it's just a very sleek, beautiful bike.
See,
If I get another one, it'll probably be that.
I was in all my research, I was like, I'm kind of pulling towards the 400, or
Mhm.
even like maybe a moped, just to get me started, because I don't have any experience, and the little experience I do have has been years. So I just look at it as I have none. I just want something to get me to and from work, which is
Mhm.
about a 2 mile commute one way, and it's not even highway; it's just streets, just inner city or inner town type stuff. So just something to cruise on, or if it's a nice day out, just go and just scoot around. And I figured start off something small and
Yeah.
just work my way up. And that's something that I want to talk to the community about. Like, again, I just learned something about you. I didn't know you rode. So that's the joy of this new show. EMF, even though it says empowering my field, it's not the paranormal. It's not much. It's not just the paranormal. And I want to give everyone an opportunity to really showcase who they are, so we can really get to know each other. And here's something else, Raymond. I knew Raymond liked video games because we played games before, just like Aaron Hoffman. We played Phasmophobia and a couple others, and I knew just by talking to him off camera that he liked D&D. Well, so does the Wicked Queen. That could be something that could bring him on and talk about. That's something that I think this field and this community is really missing. And I think it's all the community, and it's not a negative. So please don't get me wrong. And absolutely, absolutely, Raymond. And that's something too that I personally love to. I love research. I love creating content. And again, it's the passion we have.
Mhm.
And I want to get to know everybody in our communities in a more, I don't want to say intimate way, but more in depth.
OnlyFans
And
is good for that.
well, it costs money, and
It does.
I have to pay people to watch mine. But anyway, wait, what?
Um,
Oh, that's all right. Well, this is not like it's live or anything.
well, that's that's the reason that audio and podcasting specifically is so powerful right now is because of the connection. I did if you go back to I think it was either March or February, I did a breakdown of a study that was done by this massive media group that found that podcasters have more influence and connection in the everyday lives of the population than A-list celebrities, politicians, and I don't think religious figures were in there, but if they were, I think we'd beat them too.
Hmm.
Just because, you're spending right now 50 minutes with us so far, while we're talking about just our day-to-day lives. People start to feel like we're friends. And you know what? I feel that way about my listeners. This is the whole reason I did my website that has that little button at the bottom that people can press to ask questions, because I want to hear other people's voices. The emails are great. I love the emails. I love all the support that I get from my writing, from the podcast. When you guys like email in, it means a lot, to have that connection for me. And I'm glad you guys feel it too. Yeah.
Well, and that's one thing I love about Parapost and all these other networks out there now who are doing this. We're all networking. We're all coming together. Like, there's not one person in chat, whether you're watching live or replay, or you're not even commenting, because I see there's 8 people in the room, but it's Raymond and Gabriel having fun.
Good job, guys.
But-
keep that going. That ups us on the algorithm.
Hey, that you know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
That's true.
But what we are all doing is we're all talking paranormal, which is great.
Yeah.
But there's more to everybody than just paranormal.
Mm-hmm. And with this, it's a live forum. You can get involved too and tell us like what you're into. And it's a hangout. Like the big thing that's been missing from this community is community. Like real getting in there and getting to know people and sparking some friendships here. Paranormal and content creation is super lonely. It can be absolutely isolating, especially when you're doing social media content and stuff, because you do get a lot of that negative crap. So like having people come together and learning stuff from listeners, from guests who are on as listeners, it's fun, and it puts a lot of fun back in this.
Yeah, and I saw Bill Deals in the room. Hey, Bill. Facebook ratted you out, Bill. Bill liked the video. Thank you for the like, by the way.
Nice.
And if you are commenting and I'm not seeing it, you can ask Tanner. I'm commenting and seeing.
Yep.
So if I'm not answering you, or if you don't have any, whatever, I just don't see it. So sorry.
Yep.
I do have for some reason my personal page is one of the ones that's notorious for not getting comments. So I have that pulled up.
Facebook has been doing a lot of stuff to try to help their security, but it's been nightmares for a lot of third-party things. Like I used to do social media management for a very large company. He was a big sales coach, business guru type guy, and I managed his social media. And the third-party integrations used to work great, but everything would get hacked. His did not. A lot of other guys did. But so it's good and bad.
Yeah. Well, there he is. See, I knew you were there, Bill.
Yeah.
There you are. Raven wants to know what the flavor is tonight for you.
Oh, it's a really cheap Mont Blanc, invisible label.
There you go. Actually,
it's Inventa.
Ooh. See, I just redid my studio today, thanks to my daughter. As part of her punishment for being bad, she came over and helped me clean, because I'm not supposed to be lifting or bending and stuff like that. And I told Tanner earlier, I was actually in the emergency room this morning, had some internal bleeding issues, so yay. But anyway, part of that, the cleaning process, was I got all my wine bottles and all my cool alcohol bottles, and they're just up there chilling right now. And I didn't realize, but I still have some of my sweet tea vodka left. It doesn't mix well with Oxy, so I'm not going to drink it, but I'll just stick to my energy.
Oh, I still got to send you a bottle of Chattanooga whiskey.
Yeah, I'm still waiting. But
Tennessee's only high malt whiskey. It's one of the best things I have ever tasted. The 111 is awesome. Not a sponsor, but I will rep you for booze.
See, this is called, what is it? Firefly Low Country Sweet Tea. So I don't know. I found it. I really like the show Firefly. Remember that show? The Nathan. Yeah. Anyway, so I saw the label and I saw the sweet tea and I was like, maybe if I freeze some like lemon juice and use it as, instead of an ice cube, just use the lemon juice, it would taste pretty good. And it's delicious. But I also have some Gentleman Jack that's just up there sitting. But
oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not a proper night, so no gentleman tonight. But no, and that's something that I really want for this community is I want us all to come together. And what some people may not know is you may have other people in this community who have the same, interest, and you guys can talk about it. And that's what I want. I want to be able to give everyone an opportunity to learn about each other and learn some new things, and even have me learn about some things. That's the whole point of this show, guys. And I just want you guys to know that everybody is welcome to come on. It doesn't matter to me. This is an open invitation. And honestly, this show is going to combine the Paraverse, the paranormal gaming. It's going to combine everything. Oh, I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, 3 just popped on. I have no idea, dude. Are you going out to 3 channels? I meant to do that as a answer to Raymond's.
I'm on. Well, he won't see it. He's on Facebook.
Yeah.
There you go. But yeah, I'm actually on 3 Facebook and 3 YouTubes.
Nice.
Yeah. So, I'm on my personal one. I'm Gabriel. It's him. Yes. But still welcome. But no, like that's something that I really want for this community. And there are a lot of amazing shows out there. Ghost Hunter Advice, yours of course. Through the Lens, Talking with the Source, a bunch of amazing shows. I think it's time that we have a show about literally everything, and it's whatever everybody wants to talk about. And if nobody wants to talk about it, there's no guest, I'll do some gaming. Like I said, I'm on this Power World kick. I don't know if you played it yet, Tanner, or if you heard about this. Basically, Pokemon with guns is what it comes down to. It's like a mix of Pokemon. Yeah, it's on Steam.
I've got a Steam account. I'll grab that. We should play online sometime.
Oh, absolutely. And I don't know. It's like Minecraft meets Pokemon. It's really cool. It's really cool. It's like Fortnite. If I could sum it up, Fortnite, Pokemon, and Minecraft all in one.
It's fun.
That's what it basically is, and it's a lot of fun. There you
Gabriel, thanks for the sub.
Get a new sub. See, and that's something else too. Like people, you can come on and promote yourself, promote what you're doing, have some fun.
Shamelessly.
Yeah. And it's just networking. And to be honest, and I think you'll agree with this, being in sales, there is no such thing as bad marketing. Good or bad.
If you think it's like I have had so much come out of these horrible situations where I've gotten more clients from it, and I thought it was going to be bad. I thought I had egg on my face. People love to see people screw up. Oh yes, no, I don't have any video on there yet. There are. Yeah, I was like,
that took me way too long to figure.
Where did I go? I'm looking at me right now. For those of you who don't know, Gabriel posted in one of the channels that Tanner, you got no video. So on my YouTube page, yeah, there's no video yet. There is stuff coming. I'm videoing some experiments and some different equipment reviews. And those will be going up there. The podcast is audio only, except for the special stuff that I do here for Parapost. Oh my God. The stuff that I do here for Parapost, second and last Tuesday of every month at 8:30 Eastern. Mm-hmm. Shameless promotion.
And see, that's one thing that EMF is really going to promote is everything. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know. I think you know this. I don't know how many people do, but Brian, for example, Brian's another good one as an example. Brian John Laverty, Mr. I still haven't forgotten that, so he's never going to live that down. He does this thing with health food. He does these. He even has a book on these healthy recipes. They look great. He does stuff with like pictures, scenery. Mm-hmm. He does photography. He does a bunch of different things. So he's not just paranormal and acting. He's got a bunch of different things that he's really into. I want to know more. Mm-hmm. Somebody else may be interested in this. And again, folks, I can't stress this enough. Everybody is welcome. everybody is welcome to come on and talk about this. And it really will be just a big hangout.
Yep.
And
It's a lot of fun.
And you know what? It doesn't matter the views. It doesn't matter the views. It doesn't matter what happens. It's just hanging out, having fun, and just talking about you, what makes you tick, and finding out more about each other. Because to me, that's the first step in good networking and good community. Because once we realize that there's more to this field than just paranormal, because let's be honest, let's look at photography. What do we do during an investigation? We film.
Yeah. One of the most powerful things that I did was learn photography for ghost hunting and for PI stuff. How do you map a room out? What do you do when you walk in? I do my photos for this the same way that I did for crime scenes, or event or accident scenes, the angles and stuff that we use to set up, and then going through. I document the evidence with photos the exact same way that I would if I was going to court, with the regular photos first, then staged photos where I have different things in there for comparison. There's a way to do it. That's something that absolutely should be in your book is photography for the paranormal.
Yeah.
The weird stuff is like these skills, like just like the equipment that's used for the paranormal, our skills are brought in from outside sources. How do you know if a house is settling? You should probably also, you should also probably study geology, so you know, like a little bit about the soil, a little bit about the rocks and things that are in an area under a house that could cause settling and cause things. And a lot of things are going to be pulled from your hobbies. Writing has been great for report writing. It's been great for putting content together. Like Matt, I have a paranormal book coming out later that is a companion guide. It's a book of resources for ghost hunters. I'm working on another one that's a lot faster that I think will be out a bit sooner. That's a journal, because writing things down and getting it out, especially for people experiencing hauntings, is important.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Which, not to go on a little tangent, well, kind of a tangent, just to let everybody know, and this is just, again, something that I've learned in the paranormal field. One of these little notebooks. I know it looks white, but it's green. I know, great thing to have on a green screen.
Right.
But these little notebooks are absolutely invaluable in a paranormal investigation. There you go. I make white page would be easier. But just this and a pen, pencil, whatever, keep in your pocket. Make little notes. Doesn't have to be anything specific. Just take little notes. And it's just little stuff like that that just take your investigation to a whole new level. But again, this is what this is about. This new show is just hanging out, learning different things, hearing about different things, experiencing different things, and doing it in a positive way. You know, and Andrea, my sister, Adriana, I think I'm saying that right. It's good people.
Yes, Adriana. For some reason, I read that as Adrian too, but yes, it is Adriana. Oh wait, it is Adrian. It's Adrian. Thank you.
Adrian.
Thank you, Adrian. Yeah, it is Adrian.
Either way, welcome.
You misspelled your own sister's name.
Oh shit! But it's all good. Welcome. You sub. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
And Gabriel just unsubbed. Oh.
Yeah. I love Gabriel. Gabriel's awesome. Ron, what's up, brother? From RRLC Paranormal. He's another one who loves gaming. I've gamed with Ron before. His whole family. I think. Well, I know his one son games, but yeah, you know, and that's the whole.
Oh,
thing.
You got it right. It is Adriana.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Okay. No, my bad.
That's the first. I suck with names. I absolutely suck with names. But no, folks, this show, EMF, Empowering My Field, again, open invitation. I want you guys to, both boys. Okay. That's what I thought, but I just don't want to misspeak. But that's the thing. Like, it's an open invitation for everybody. You don't have to have the best microphone. Like, you don't have to go all out. You don't have to have. You can come on your cell phone. I don't really care. But
Guys, there are people that have millions of followers and stuff. They're using this guy right here. It's a Samsung SB, or sorry, a Samsung Q2U. And it's a freaking $70 microphone, and they use it in recording studios. You don't have to spend a whole lot. Now they've got $1,000 microphones, and you sound incredible on those. There's a difference between this and a Rodecaster or a Shure SB7 for sure, with what it picks up in the vocal range. But it gets you going.
see, and that's one thing that
I love the snowball.
You know,
that was my first one.
You know, here's the thing. I know Fedora had one. Scott had one. I don't know if he still uses it or not. That did sound good, but to me, it wasn't my thing. Like, I've gone through so many microphones. It's just, I like this one. This is just a, what is it, a P9 or a P5, however you say it. It's just a little one, the one I just got off of Amazon. Everybody says it sounds just fine.
Yeah,
I just like it because it's got pretty lights. It's got pretty lights. Like, I have, like, Mackenzie has one, and I have one hanging up top here that's just sitting there chilling. But no, it's, again, it's just a matter of what do you think? What do you think? What works for you? What do you enjoy using? And even like electronics, again, it's something that this new show we can talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And I just can't stress it enough, folks, on this new show, how much fun this is going to be. And I don't want anyone to sit there and think, well, I can't be on your show because I don't have a good camera, or I don't have a good microphone, or you can go for a drive. If you're driving, your passion is driving, go for a drive. Well, you have service, but you know, like motorcycles, well, go on a motorcycle. Let's have some fun. You know, let's see what you can do. Fishing, kayaking, baseball, whatever you think, or whatever your passion is, I want to know about it. And I want to bring us together. And I'm gonna put my email here in chat. And if you are interested, all you have to do is shoot me an email. Let me know. Let me know this is what you want to be a part of this new show, and we can set up a time. I do have somebody already set up for the initial episode. You're going to find out who it is, but I'm really excited to have this person back, just because we know a lot about this person, but we don't know the stuff that's not paranormal. I'll give you that hint. This person does have a lot in the paranormal, but there's more to this person than just paranormal. And I want to know more. I want to find out more. I want to find out what drives this person to do these other passions that they have. And I think you guys will really enjoy it, because I know I will. And again, let's have some fun. Let's have some fun. So this is an open invitation, and I know you guys saw. If you were with us in the beginning, you saw that promo video. That's still the promo. We'll be coming up with the intro sometime this week. But again, folks, this is going to be fun. This is going to be a lot of fun, and I don't know what else to say besides everybody's invited. Everybody is invited to come on. I don't care if you're paranormal or not. Let's have some fun with this. But the main thing, though, that I want, and this is, again, as Tanner said, it all ties together. The main thing is the positivity, and about self and self-building, and, you know, taking care of yourself and having fun with this. And more importantly, being proud of who you are, being proud of what you like. Like, I know Tanner had a fun little reaction when I said I was a furry. I had the same reaction, believe it or not. I had the same reaction because the Wicked Queen and her best friend Tristan got me into being a furry.
Wow.
Yeah. I had the same thought that most people did. It actually, Pittsburgh convention, that was what started it for me. And by the way,
Oh, neat.
you guys see me doing this a lot. One of the things I haven't done really since I've been out from surgery is shave. And I have this one hair on my mustache that I have a fan on me right now because I keep going from hot to cold. It keeps blowing up my nose, so it's driving me nuts right now.
Swear to God, man, I thought this was going to be another confessional, and you're going to be like, that one thing that I haven't done since I got out of the hospital is cocaine.
Nothing. But no, like in all seriousness, like true, 100% true story. You can even ask the Wicked Queen this. When she told me she was a furry, like she's told me she's bi, she told me a bunch of different things. When she told me she was a furry, that was the only thing I really was judgy about. Like I accept her for who she is and was. Like even her being a witch and her being Wiccan, I was like, cool, you know. But when she said she was a furry and we were going to a convention, I was like, what are we doing? I had questions. I had some concerns. But the more I learned about it, and the more I learned about what that community really is about, because I'll be honest, some of that stuff does happen, but it's behind the scenes, you never see it. But what I really found out about it changed my whole perspective. And that's what I want for this show. I want people to open up, be themselves, have fun, and connect with each other. And who knows, maybe you'll have a new hobby. Maybe there'll be something new for you and for everybody else. And that's the whole thing. And being proud of yourself is the first step to building up self-esteem, self-confidence, and in all honesty, in the big picture, making our communities a better place. Long-winded, I know, but
Yeah, man, you're good. Yeah, it's about community. The whole thing with Parapost here was building a community of people who are coming out, sharing ideas, us watching and supporting each other's shows, learning from each other, and getting this whole snowball rolling. And that just adds another layer to it because we're getting away from paranormal. We're talking about careers. We're talking about interests. We're talking about what drives people. We're talking about furry culture. We're talking about we're talking about things that are interesting outside of this. It's let's be the paranormal Joe Rogan.
that may be an idea.
It's
But
got get a big Alpha Brain logo on the.
when I have the funds for it,
Yeah.
I would love to do Minecraft in VR. I think that'd be a lot of fun. But no, folks, it's very simple. The premise is very easy, and again, you guys as a whole community, Tanner up, obviously you included, everybody on Parapost, everybody in the community who watched my shows throughout the years, the Liz's, the Gabriels, Raymonds, all of you people. You guys have been such a huge support in everything I've done, and thank you doesn't even begin to cover the amount of appreciation and love and respect I have for you all. And honestly, I wanted to do something to give back. You guys have shown me the utmost support, and you give each other the utmost support. I will admit that everybody on Parapost is so fun and so positive and so supportive of each other. And it's not just Parapost. There are other networks out there. I say it's time to bring us all together. Bring all the networks together. Let's have some fun with this. And let's celebrate what makes us us. And the only way I feel that we can do this is by opening up and learning about each other. This is my way of giving back. This show is the only way right now I can even think about how to say thank you. You guys hear me talk a lot. You guys have seen a lot of my ideas, good and bad. You've seen a lot of the growth with each other. Now it's time. It's time to showcase you. Enough of the consult. Enough of just the paranormal. let's really find out who each other is. Let's really bring our community together. And again, you never know. We don't know who's watching and who may sit there and go, you know what? Like, let's say, like, I know Raymond was talking about D&D. A lot of people may go, oh, well, D&D, well, I don't really like that, or I don't even know, it sounds complicated. Maybe there's somebody there, maybe you'll learn about it, have some fun, and get into it.
For D&D, there might be somebody that hears you talking about it, and they're like, I like that guy's presence on the microphone. The number one, it might be down to number 2 now, but the number 1 for a long time, monetizing podcast type or genre was Dungeons and Dragons. People playing it, recording the sessions, editing it, and putting it out as podcast episodes for their campaigns.
No kidding.
Yeah, and that, I mean, serious money. 7 to 9 figures from a podcast annually for those. It's ridiculous.
That is ridiculous. See, Gabriel remembered. Yeah, you know what? That's one thing I love is every time I say I have an idea, everybody's reaction has been the same. Like, it's like shit. But no, that's really interesting. Like, yeah. I know the Wicked Queen loves D&D. Like, she's been looking to play. She just really doesn't have anybody. But
I'd love to do it, but it's a lot of editing. Like, what you do your campaign, but you're looking at to do a 30-minute podcast right now for Ghost Hunter Advice. Mm-hmm. I upgrade my editing software. It's about 2.5, 3 hours of editing on the back end to get that show together to where it's mastered and high quality. You're looking at like 1.5 hour long episodes. And if you do a campaign, that one campaign's your entire season. And it's a ton. A lot of those guys ended up having to hire like third-party editing companies to do it.
See,
they got the funds for it.
Well, see, and that's the thing. Like, even with the paranormal, excuse me, like you guys have seen me go out, and you've seen the Wicked Queen. We've gone out to like the USS North Carolina, Penhurst, a couple other places, and I just like doing the lives because, just like you said, with the editing, I just didn't have time, and I still don't. I still don't have time to just sit down and just get it done. Like, I do my videos for Paravid Studios, which, by the way, folks, that is open, that is running. If you want to, an intro, outro, promo, whatever, just let me know. But like, I just don't have the time. And to be honest with you, one of the biggest things, and I know you've seen it, and again, folks, we're going back and forth to the paranormal, but again, it all ties in. One of the things that a lot of people put down with the field is the fake evidence. Mm-hmm. And people say, oh, well, it's edited, it's this, it's that. That's why I do my lives. That's why I love doing lives, because it's not edited. It's right there for you. It's not staged. If there's a bang, a noise, whatever, when I go check it out, there's nothing there. There's nothing there.
See, that's why I've always said it doesn't matter if you get an EVP. It doesn't matter if you get a video. It doesn't matter what, and I call it dramatic evidence. When you get that video or something of an exposure, nobody's going to believe it. It doesn't matter if it's real or not, because especially with AI now, it's too easy to fix. It's too easy to fake. The only real way that people are going to believe what you're saying is if they're there when you see it and they see it too. Which is why I've gotten more into experiences. I used to early on, I brought people out in the field with me. I had some guys early on, they're like, oh, it's so stupid. And I'm like, all right, come out with me. An entire high school baseball team came out with me, and I do this alone. And so I'm going into this location to collect some stationary equipment that I had. And I'm like, we're going to be in there for about 30 minutes while I pick this stuff up. If you see something cool, you'll believe it. If not, then keeps thinking I'm full of shit. So we walk in, I pick up the last motion detector, and I turn around, and all I feel is this massive hand grab the top of my head, and I can't see it, but I saw their faces, and it was just a lot of screaming, and then they ran.
See,
and I never took crap from them again. They're like, I never want to go back out there, man. Why do you do that?
See, I've said this before, and I will continue to say this. I love skeptics. I love investigating with skeptics. Hell, I even had skeptics on my team. when I was running teams. The problem with skeptics is they can only be skeptics for so long. And I'm not talking about the balanced ones, because that's me. I'm it's got to be something. You got to debunk it. You got to do your due diligence. It's probably this. I'm talking the ones where the paranormal does not exist. There is no such thing. There's no such thing. Once you're dead, you're dead. It's heaven, hell, or nothing. I love those people. I love investigating with them because one or two things is going to happen. You go out, nothing happens. They still have that creepy vibe, especially if you take them at night. It's still, you learn about their location again, history, doing your research. And I've taken a lot of people out with nothing happen, but they learned. I told them about the history of the location or the past experiences we've had there, and they enjoyed themselves. That's a positive. Or they get the shit scared out of them, and then they're not a skeptic anymore. They run or scream or do whatever, and they're not too skeptical anymore.
Yep. And that was one of it was like 11 dudes. I was like, so all y'all saw that because all y'all took off running.
I had this one black guy on my team. He was trying out. He was interviewing, and again, I just want to it's bad I have to say this, but I don't care what color you are. Anybody can be on a paranormal team. Just saying. But I had this black kid actually come out, 19 years old, and he said he could handle it. Nothing scares him. He just wants to prove us wrong. He wants to prove that it does not exist. He wants to be the voice of reason, blah, blah, blah. Part of the interview process, it was a 3-step process. The first step was a phone interview. Talk to him on the phone, talk to him a little bit, get to know his background, why he wants to be a part of it, blah, blah, blah. The second was a face-to-face interview, get to meet him, public location, just see how the vibe is, see if they would even connect with the team. And the third step was actually coming out and investigating. And when you do that third interview, the team voted to whether this person would come on board or not. And not as a negative, just, will they click? Because we all know if you've investigated in a team setting, you have to trust the people you're with. You have
SWAT and Bomb Squad do the same thing. It's your last interview is a panel interview with everybody because you have to like each other.
Yeah.
Like you come together as a unit and a family, and if you don't, then there's no reason.
Well, you have to trust. You have to trust each other. And anyway, so this kid comes out, and I'll never forget. It was in Old Town, San Diego. It was a beautiful area, a lot of great activity. He comes out, got along with everybody. We all had a great time until we were sitting and we were investigating, doing our thing. And just like one of the reports, I know it sounds cliche, folks, but it happened. Those blood-curdling screams, the random ones that happen with nobody around, we all know, well, that was part of the reports. And sometimes we caught it, sometimes we didn't. Well, the one area we were at, it happened right next to us. Nobody was around, just the team. We were all just hanging out. It happened, and all I heard, and I'm quoting, so don't get on me, he goes, "Oh, hell no, fuck this shit," and he took off. Where this dude was standing was just a blank space and a trail of dust.
Yep.
Wouldn't answer my phone calls, wouldn't answer a text message. Never heard from him again.
Oh my God. There's a conversation I have whenever somebody's new and they're coming out. And this is a reason that I don't do teams anymore. And I'm by myself. I have a couple of people that I trust when I need assistance to come out. But like, I have to have the conversation. Don't run. Whenever I want your reaction and I want to drill this into you. Do not run. times when people are killed by ghosts or injured or break their nose or get hurt or fall through a floor or get into a bad situation, it's when they freak out and run during an investigation because something scares them. You hurt yourself. They can't do anything to most of the time. They can't do anything to you. So your fight or flight should be a quick breath, think about it, and then try to find out what it was.
Yep.
But just don't move. Don't move.
Well, one of the first lessons, and again, folks, this all ties together. So, because I know we're kind of getting a little off topic of what the whole point of the show is, but my show.
Well, I mean, like it's what we do. It's gonna come up.
But one of the first lessons that I teach every new investigator is I set them down in a room, whether it's home or whatever. It has to be at home, but we're sitting there in like a living room, right? And you say, okay, I want you to look around the room. Look around the room, take notes of everything. Where is this at? Where's that at? What smells do you smell? Sights do you see? What are you hearing? And they do. They sit there and look around. They go, okay. Then I turn the lights off. Obviously, it has to be at night. And I ask, what changed? I'm like, well, I can't see. What else has changed? Well, nothing. Exactly. The only thing that changes at night is the fact that we can't freaking see. And if you investigate with Raymond, you definitely can't see because you don't use flashlights. Another shot. Yep, I had to. Love you, Raymond. But that is the only thing that changes, is the fact that we can't see.
I'm gonna just go ahead and say it I've never understood the investigating in the dark. Like I did it for a little while, and it was popularized by television. But until it was a thing on TV, like a couple guys would do it sometimes for specific experiments.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't turn the lights off because if I do have an apparition, I can't see it with the lights off. I can't have an experience with the lights off. And with sensory deprivation actually leads to hallucination. You're actually increasing the chances of a hallucination during an investigation by turning the lights off. So that's one of those things.
Ooh, actually, you know what? We just turned this around. So here we go. So here's why. Here's why I investigate at night. Okay. And it is nothing. Well, I wouldn't say nothing. It has like 1% creep factor. 1%. 99% of the reason why I do it is because of sensory deprivation. There we go. English is not my first language apparently tonight. But anyway, I do that because obviously when you take sight away, sound, smells, everything else gets heightened. Your other senses get heightened. See, you're the reason why people are afraid of the dark, because you're in it. Love you, brother. But my hearing sucks thanks to the military. My hearing is I lost 60% of my hearing in my left ear. When I investigate at night, it forces my ears and my hearing to heighten. What it also does is it gives me another chance to train and learn more, and to take that hallucinations and your brain playing tricks on you. It trains you to ignore that, and it settles you, and it kind of night vision. It kind of gives you a little bit of night vision. You know, there's a difference between black and pitch black, and it helps out. So for me, nighttime investigating to me is paramount. It's where I do my best. Now, I've said before, and I still believe it. Thanks, Gabriel. Love you too. But like Raymond says, you can get evidence during the day.
Well, yeah, and a thorough investigation. You go into somebody's house, or you go into a business who's actually having a problem. You should do both. Like if you call me out to your house, most of investigations, if we're getting real, if we get to the point where I'm like, all right, we need to set up. One, the equipment's going to be running 24/7. But also, like, if you watch the Conjuring movies, I love those movies because that's how I do it. Like I'm going to come out there and I might stay in your guest room. I might sleep on your couch. I'm going to be there to try to, you guys need to be going about your daily routine and doing what you normally do when things happen so that I can figure out why that is happening.
Give me 1 second, brother.
Yeah.
I have my brother-in-law trying to listen in, and instead of watching and giving me the viewership, he's just overlooking my shoulder. So I have to put you on speaker.
Just pull your phone up, man.
There it goes. I think it's going. Say something, Tanner, just so I know it's working.
I heard
So that we don't have an echo.
Oh, there we go. No, I just wanted to make sure my speaker wasn't working. I heard you laugh. I saw you laughing, but I wasn't hearing you laughing.
I gotcha.
But
Yeah, but
anyway, go ahead.
that's one of those things. Like, that's part of doing an investigation that a lot of people don't do because they don't see it on television. You know, you go in and you kick the family out, and there are times where they're alone. Absolutely, that single vigil is an important part of the investigation. But just being there when the energy of the house and the energy of the property is moving in the direction that it normally is, it's really important. I've been able to debunk a lot from doing that, and then I've also been able to confirm that there's no way that your activity is causing this. Also, just having those people in the house and the regular chatter of a family, if things do feed off and use energy to manifest, it gives them something to pull from and a reason to manifest. There's a lot of these things that I think just want to be part of the action, part of the family, part of what's going on in the house. And we're getting way into the paranormal stuff, but but that's part of it. That's part of doing a thorough investigation.
No, absolutely. And I saw David Hope like the video. Thanks, David, from Dark Hope Paranormal. Missed you too, brother. You and I need to hang out again. But, you know, I'm glad you said about the, you know, even the family being involved. Like, I kind of go kind of like what you see on the shows. We have a base set up outside or somewhere away from the actual home itself. And that's where the family stays. They stay with us if they want to, or if they can go to, you know, the neighbors, family members for the night, whatever they want to do. It's whatever their comfort level is. But usually the first half of the investigation that evening, they stay out of the home. I want it just the home. And if we're not getting anything, okay, let's bring the family involved. Maybe someone's an empath. Maybe somebody has some gifts that they're not telling, or maybe the spirits are just connected to them. You know what I mean? It's whatever. And it's just the style of investigating. And, you know, another reason why I love doing investigations at night is, think about it. When are people most active? And I'm not talking spirits. I'm saying like the human populace.
You said what I was about to add. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. We are all active during the day. Mm-hmm. Most of the activity, the traffic, flights, whatever, is all done during the day. When you do a place like Gettysburg, cemeteries, stuff like that, out in the open, you have so much contamination that it is just so much of a pain in the ass. Like if you are sitting there trying to do an EVP session and you hear, we all know those idiots with loud mufflers that just want to be dicks, they go driving by. That interrupts what you're doing and takes your focus off of the investigations, and more importantly, the spirits. If they're there, you know, you're taking that focus off. And to me, it's more of an intimate setting when you at night, when it's quieter and there's not a lot going on. It's a better environment, and you're actually hanging out one-on-one, or sometimes, you know, however many are there and you. But I've ran into that. Had like 15 spirits around me. It's like,
Can I add something there?
Go ahead.
So,
by the way, folks, this is my brother-in-law Ryan. Or we call him Pop Tart.
But anyways, what I will add, you know, something with that night stuff in respects towards how he does his investigations is I've gone along a couple times for investigations, and I don't necessarily get into that stuff as much anymore, but I will give respects to the fact that at nighttime, as he said, you know, less pollution of the surrounding stuff going on. And what got me into like believing that the paranormal stuff is actually going on versus like a lot of those shows on TVs where you are kind of wondering, oh, is this staged stuff? Is that half of the team that he sets up is focus on like the outside of the building, making sure if there's a car going by, all right, we're documenting what time that went by. If there's an animal even running across the yard, whether it's a tiny little bunny rabbit, that way we
We've
can
done
say,
that.
look, seriously, and
You have to, yeah.
you know, just starting out, like that was something he put me on to integrate into the team, because you can't go, oh, that might have been something. It's like, all right, well, something happened at this time. We could probably knock it out as pollution.
Mhm.
That way, like that right there gave a lot of credibility into like what I was seeing, what I could tell was paranormal versus what could have been fake.
Mhm.
But I'll give respects to that. Is like the nighttime helps out with that a lot.
And you know, that's and by the way, folks, for those of you, by the way, Gabriel says hi.
Oh,
That hi was for you. But this is what another reason why EMF, empowering my field, why I wanted to do stuff like this, because someone like Ryan, he can come on and talk about what he likes, what he's passionate about. He can talk about his experiences with the paranormal, what he really likes to do, you know, and which, by the way, and yes, I'm doing this live. So again,
I didn't do it.
no, did you figure out whether you want to sell the bike or not? Because I'm interested if you are.
No.
Well, screw you too.
Sorry.
Do you want to do a ride share? I'm only taking it to Tennessee to go see Tanner.
No.
The hell of a ride on a bike, dude.
But
All right, mind you, I got like this tiny little Honda Navi. All right, that thing doesn't get above 50. With me weighing 150, it doesn't get above 50. He thinks he's going to Tennessee on that thing. He'll get pulled over for going under the speed limit.
I'm the four
Oh,
wheels on.
man, I let my mom ride my bike down to Florida once, and she laid it down at a stop sign, broke my signals off. So I was like, no.
But anyway, folks, like that's you're seeing the prime reasoning for this new show, for empowering my field. Again, it's not just the paranormal. It's anything. It's literally anything. And
Mhm.
that's one thing that really excites me, is because we get to learn so much about each other that I think this premise, and if you want to do a show and you want to steal this idea, let me already start. Take it.
Do it.
Take it. Take this idea and run with it. Because here's the thing. If you start, like if Tanner decides that he wants to do this, his community may embrace it. His listeners may embrace it, may want to be a part of it, may help out. And all he has to say is, go check out the consult.
My
That-
listeners are all about giving feedback, and they do not like me going off topic.
Do not send them over to my show.
Yeah. There's oh man, podcasting is different than live streaming. I'm going to say that people are used
Oh,
to
yeah.
having curated content that is to a certain standard and is like I mean, Dateline does podcasts, so when people are used to that type of stuff on that. So put your shows out if you want to go out there, but you'll learn how to edit if you go to audio only with that. It's brutal. It's brutal.
If I ever start recording, and you know what's funny is, again, another tangent, but my show, the Fedora, love that man to death. He was one of the first to tell me, you need to do some recordings. You need to record some stuff. You want to do things. I'm going to tell you all right now, and if AJ is in the room or if Brian's in the room, they'll attest to this. You guys see this side of me on my lives, and I seem very comfortable. Well, at least I hope I seem comfortable doing this. I am not when it comes to recording. Like even in the promo for EMF, when I say I'm not done yet, I look up and I say I'm not done yet. What you're not seeing is that was a minute and a half to 2 minutes of me doing other things. Like I had literally, like I did one like I'm not done yet, or I'm just getting started, or I'm back, or let's have some fun. I had so many different phrases that I did to record just that 2 to 3 second clip, because I am so awkward when it comes to recording.
So the episode before the last that dropped to Ghost Hunter Advice was a 30-minute episode. By the time I finished editing it, it's 15 minutes.
But see, and that's the thing. Like I am better at these lives.
Mhm.
I feel more confident and comfortable. And I'm not saying I can't do recorded stuff, because I've done some recorded stuff, like for the Global Ghost Hunt. I've done a couple of recordings for that, and I've told Brian before, I hate recording.
Yep. If you start recording, like if you're listening, like you want to record, your first 30 episodes are going to be absolute garbage. If you go back to any podcast that's doing well, anybody that's been picked up by a network, anybody that's got stuff going on, their first 30 podcasts, I guarantee almost always are behind a paywall. Ghost Hunter Advice eventually will have a paywall, and those early ones will be behind it because they are awful. And it's like, you know what? You want to hear those? You want to hear how bad I was on episode 1?
Oh, even my lives. I do not suggest it, folks, but if anybody's seen the beginning of The Consultant doing lives, I was terrible. Absolutely. And I started, I think you know this because I've said this a couple times. I started out doing how-to videos of investigating. Just taking my experiences and just doing whatever. And I was shit. I was awkward. I was terrible. But you know what? The one thing that I've noticed is over these past couple years is these live streams that I do. That is where I'm the most comfortable. I'm the most confident. I have the most fun doing. And I'm not talking about like a recorded interview or recorded, like if we were doing this whole series, this whole thing, this whole show recorded, you and I could have a great time doing this.
Mm-hmm.
But like my video gaming, I can't do that recorded because I'll just sit there and just be awkward.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just focus on the game. If for some reason what I'm doing takes off, and I've said this before, and I've had it happen. If I get paid for doing all this stuff, I'm gonna do it my way,
mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna have fun doing it my way, and I'm not gonna change it. Which is probably why I don't have a TV deal like I was offered. I don't know if you know this, but I was actually offered a TV spot.
Yep.
Out in San Diego, we were offered a show, but they wanted us to change what we were doing. I said, nope. They wanted us to change who we were and what we were doing. I said, absolutely not. You came to me for a reason. You want me for a reason, and you're going to get me and my team.
And that's why I like the stuff that's like voiceover. So I'm on a couple of sites now where like I'm voice talent so that I can do commercials and do voiceovers for documentaries and stuff. And I prefer that or flying out and sitting and being a talking head on one of the documentaries, as opposed to going out and doing investigations. I turned down a couple of shows.
Mm-hmm.
And the last one, I didn't even get to the last round. I was like, you know what? I'm just not interested in doing it. And I wish I hadn't on that one. That one would have been fun.
Don't get me wrong. I
mean,
I probably, if I could go back in time, and I would have changed my decision, who knows where I might be. I mean, they were talking, and I'm not talking like, and this was before like Amazon Prime and Roku and stuff like that. Like I'm talking network. Network level shows that I was offered. And, maybe I could have been like Ghost Hunters or Ghost Adventures or Old Habits. But
I am glad that they're doing the Ghost Adventures home stuff now, because it's a lot easier for me to explain to people what the GHA Investigators Network is like. So like cases come in from the shows, I consult, I talk to people, I do all the stuff on the investigations, and I have people do legwork. Local teams do legwork. I say legwork, but it's the investigations, the stuff you guys actually want to do, going into the house and doing the stuff and then bringing it back. But there are pluses to having those shows.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Well, actually, what's up? I don't. Oh, wait. Yeah, we do. We have our blanket. That's all done. You can just set it on the table if you want. Okay. Sorry, it was actually the laundry. I forgot I had a blanket in there. But actually, I'm glad you brought that up, Terry, because you were just on. You were on. I think it was Tuesday.
Yep.
Was it Tuesday or Sunday with Brian?
Tuesday. So
Tuesday.
every Tuesday I do like a 10 to a 15-minute bit at the start of their show talking about something or doing paranormal news that ties into the guest.
Which, for those of you who don't know or haven't heard about, go check it out. It's Through the Lens, over with Brian and Lex. And I'll tell you what, that is such a fun show. I need to talk to them about coming on again. I want to talk to them and Lex, to Brian and Lex again, and talk about their show. They have an amazing show. Anyway, but I want you to talk about this for a second. And again, guys, another tangent, but my show. That little program, or that little program, excuse me, that program.
It's a little program right now.
That I didn't want to sound a little, but anyway,
a little side hobby.
The program you have, which just so you folks know, and Tanner will attest to this, I signed up for. I think it's an absolutely amazing idea. If you could talk to everybody about it and how to sign up if they're interested, that'd be great.
Yeah. So Ghost Hunter Advice as a podcast has been going for several years now. Before I shut it down, we were getting calls in from all over the world, Australia, Europe. I had a couple come in from non-English speaking countries through Asia. And basically I can't do the legwork on these. I can't get out to these families who need actual boots on the ground. So I started doing this thing called the Ghost Hunter Advice Investigator Network, so that when people were coming in, I could give them help. Generally, what happens when somebody calls into the show, it's not just for ghost hunters. It's also for people who are experiencing paranormal activity and want to know how to do something about it. Maybe they look into it themselves. Maybe they're trying to decide whether or not they need outside help. A lot of those people call into the shows and they end up requesting investigations through the interview that we do. And I help them as much as I can from a distance. Sometimes I'm able to go out on location, but not always. And some of these cases are pretty extreme. By the time it gets to the point where I say, yes, okay, we need somebody out there, the likelihood of paranormal activity being present is pretty high. There's a high standard that I put people to, for me to say, okay, this is legit enough to look at, especially with the expense of traveling to Arizona or Washington was one of the biggest ones. I need people who are boots on the ground in all 50 states, Canada, Mexico, everywhere, to help these people. And sometimes I'll come out. These cases, I do stay involved with them. I do a lot of the backgrounds. I do a lot of the interviews. Sometimes I have people go pick up documents, because some of the courthouses in different places, we have to pick them up live. But really what I need are people to go in and do the vigils, set up the equipment, get the evidence ready, especially if we think there's going to need to be some sort of religious intervention. A lot of the larger organizations, I know you know who I'm talking about, they have a very high standard of evidence before they'll approve something. So we have to get that ready, and I need people there who are able to do it. So if you go to ghosthunteradvice.com, click on join the investigator network, fill out that form, and I will be in touch. There's an interview process, and you can be one of the investigators that goes out and helps these people.
Absolutely. And again, folks, like I said, I even signed up for it. I learned about it, and I feel ashamed about this, but I learned about it on Tuesday Through the Lens.
I just brought it back on Monday. I finally decided to bring it back, and
awesome.
Before it was something that was underground, like it wasn't something that I advertised that we had. But now, with the popularity of the show growing, I need people.
Hey, well, you can count on me to help out any way I can. But yeah, guys, definitely go check that out. Sign up if you feel the want to, and that's something else. Don't feel obligated. If you honestly can help, please do.
And as a perk, sorry to interrupt, but as a perk, when we do talk about this, because I am a content creator, this is a show. A lot of these things, we do have people sign media releases. We do feature, or will be featuring these cases on the shows, talking about the team. We might pull you on for an interview, especially for premium content down the road. But with these cases, absolutely, you can write about them. I'm not like big on this is exclusive GHA IP like some networks. But the big thing that I ask is if you do talk about these cases and you do decide to publish something, protect the families. There are people out there who pin these houses. So if you do publish any photos that show anything around, you give any sort of indication of where the case is, a lot of these people are going to be looking for it, and people will show up at people's houses and ruin their lives if they think that there's paranormal activity inside the home. So we have to guard these people's privacy at all costs. Usually if you hear me talking about something on the show, it's not even in the same state that I'm talking about. It's very, very important that we protect these people's privacy, but that's it.
No, 100%. And I couldn't agree more. And here's the thing, and a little disclaimer I'm going to add to that. If for some reason anybody hears or sees something about a home or whatever, or even I'll even throw in businesses that have paranormal activity, please, folks, do not be a burden like that. That is complete disrespect. It is okay, in my opinion, especially a business, to just ask about it. Just ask while they're open, while it's, not while they're busy or anything else. Don't inconvenience them. If it's a house, the only thing I will say is just introduce yourself. Just introduce yourself. Don't go into details about it. Don't dig. Don't, pry. But just say something like, "Hi, I use an example. I use me. Hi, my name is Matt. I go by paranormal consultant. I heard you may or may not have some issues going on in your home. If you are, and you are looking for extra help or something, if I can help you in any way I can, here's my card. Feel free to call or text me or send me an email with any questions or concerns you might have, and just show support." Because I'm going to tell you right now, I've done over 400 cases. That is the number one thing these clients are looking for, is support. And in all honesty, that'll do so much for not just yourself, but our field as a whole. It'll break a lot of stigmas and a lot of reputations that we may have. And if it's a public location, ask permission. I'm going to say it again, ask permission. Even if it's public, a park, go talk to, even if there's homes nearby, introduce yourself and explain what you're going to be doing, and say, would you mind? Would you mind if I know it's public, but I'm going to be out here. I'm just introducing myself, letting you know this is who I am, what I'm doing. Do you have any issues with that? And the reason why you do that, folks, is because think of it this way. When you go out, if you're outside, say you go outside at night and you're just hanging out, and you see somebody in the park across the street running around with a flashlight, it's going to look a little sketchy. If you make your introductions and you're polite and respectful, no cops will be called, no issues. You won't have anybody yelling at you. That's something that we need to, as a community, start doing, is start introducing ourselves. And I'm not saying try to, push them to say that, paranormal is real, or no, just introduce yourself. Let them know. Let the neighbors know. Let people know what's going on. And there's, again, it's networking, it's being respectful. And I've even gone as far as calling, the police station, the local, police station, and say, "Hey, this is who I am. This is what I'm going to be doing. I don't know whether you believe in it or not, but either way, I was wondering if it would be okay for me to come out this evening from this time to this time and do an investigation. I'm not going to desecrate anything. I'm not going to hurt anything. I'm going to, won't trash the place. Just want to go out with a flashlight, a camera, and a recorder, and just, do what I want to do, some things."
There are a lot of places that are under conservatorship of the police department in the city, so they can actually give you the ability to go in there. I was lucked out. There was a very, very small town who was and a lot of the cops there loved paranormal shows, so they not only gave me access to a lot of places, they would come out and help out.
Oh yeah, San Diego, they did it too.
Yep.
And and here's something else too that you're doing. If they do get a phone call, they don't need to come out. They already know what's going on, and they can be like, okay, well, no, we know what that is. That's fine. You don't have anything to worry about. And that's going to make things so much easier for your lives and everybody else's. And I'm not saying, call up 50 teams and have a big convention out in the middle of the night, because that's going to look a little weird, but just a small group, or even just by yourself. Or something else that I think a lot of people miss is just going through downtown at night.
Yep.
Like I live in a small town. You get some evidence downtown at night, but make sure it's well lit, safe.
Yeah. Chattanooga, we have a couple of ghost tour companies here. Chattanooga is right next to Chickamauga Battlefield. We were the railroad's gateway into the Deep South during the Civil War, and then with organized crime from the 20s and 30s and Prohibition, our streets, there are times that it was an absolute bloodbath. And with the history and stuff here, you can get a lot just walking around. I do the ghost tours every once in a while just to go out and see stuff, and you'd be surprised the EVPs, the fun stuff that you can get from just going on a tour, as well as learning some of the history. Yeah. That's actually a goal of mine. I'm keeping an eye on the tour companies and stuff around here, and that's why I wanted to do something that was high revenue earning, to get the capital together so I could buy a tour company. It's always been a dream of mine to own a ghost tour company and a paranormal bookstore or occult bookstore. I had an online one. I used to track down. I was a private investigator. I was very into books. I was good at finding stuff. I used to track down occult books, hard to find books, high dollar collectibles, and sell those online. It was or broker deals sometimes. Chased books and novelties. That was the yeah.
See, again, another tangent, but I mean, this would be something like the Wicked Queen and I were even talking about, and I hope and pray that our mission at Parapost really takes off, because like I told Brian, I'd love to have, even in this small town or one of the malls in the area, open up a storefront. Have a studio, a recording studio, right in the main window, right up front, and have like some merchandise for Parapost, Global Ghost Hunt. Mackenzie was always talking about setting up some kind of a cult thing with crystals and incense and a bunch of herbs and stuff. Like, set all that up and have a little metaphysical store.
Yep. American Hauntings does that.
Yeah, I think that'd be great. And
Troy Taylor, he up in Decatur, Illinois, man, it's awesome.
And like I'd even love to have like a little, like when I do the lives, if I do like a live, when I do my live podcast, have an audience, have the audience involvement, put a microphone over with the audience, have a little camera set up, and just talk to the audience about what they like, and talk to them about like what EMF's about, and just have some fun. I think that'd be great. Because there's really, I've seen a lot. I don't know if you guys have it down there, but there is at one of our malls, there's a radio station that has a little storefront they have set up, and they do their radio show right in the main window. And they have a little speaker that you can stand there and listen and stuff like that. I think a paranormal thing would be really fun to have.
Yeah. Here we have Chattanooga Ghost Tours, and their storefront is beautiful, and it's used as a lobby just for the ghost hunting. They have a couple of local authors in there, but I've walked in, I was like, this could be such an amazing magic shop, like paranormal bookstore, horror books, themed, run the tours out of here, and do some stuff for the podcast at the studio up in there, proper studio. Yeah. And yeah, there's, and people do it. Like I said, Troy did it. It took him, I think, 30 or 40 years to get all that together, and he started running tours just on the street, meeting people like a lot of tour companies start, and taking them through Illinois. He's published over 160 books. He has a thriving business and is one of the biggest names in paranormal conventions right now.
See, and something else too that'd be a lot of fun is get these people who build equipment and
Yeah.
have an equipment shop right in there with it. Like you can get everything paranormal. You can get recorders, SLSs, SLXs, whatever.
Yeah, I want to do that. I do it online too. Ghost Stop. I keep forgetting to call them, but I've got to call them to get them on the show. They've started doing lives like this to go over the equipment that they have in store.
See, I mean, that's something I missed out on. Like believe it or not, and this has nothing to do with anything else, just because I think it'd be cool, is to talk to people like Ghost Stop or the Ghost Hunter store. And I don't really want to say sponsored, but just have them come on, just chat about what they do, why they do it, how much fun do they have doing it, and pick their brain a little bit, have some fun. That's the thing that I love about this EMF that's coming out, is the possibilities are endless. And it may not even be just paranormal. Maybe somebody gaming may come in, and it only takes one person to hear the right thing for someone's life to change. And that's something that I think would be a lot of fun for everybody. And again, folks, if you want to come on the show and talk about what you're passionate about, let's do it. Let's have some fun, because maybe that right person may be in the audience to change your life. Or maybe even a job, get you a job with it.
Dude, I have gotten so many, the highest paying jobs that I've gotten the past couple of years have come from podcasting.
Really?
They say, I put it on my resume that I run a podcast, and all of the things that I've done, the 2 podcasts that I use to build my businesses, and I monetize those through my businesses, the things that I've done to market it with aggressive display advertising, PPC advertising through Facebook and Google, and all the stuff that I did to grow specifically Ghost Hunter Advice. With SEO and digital marketing. They look at that and they're like, this is a hobby. I was like, yes, it's a hobby, but it's a hobby that netted me $20K in a year, which it's a hobby that netted me $20K. It's not anything for a career, but for a hobby, it's pretty cool. But it's
$20K hobby. It's still,
it's pretty good.
You're making money off of a hobby. I mean, who doesn't want that? I mean,
But they look at it and they're like, oh my God, yeah, that's really, really cool. I was like, I had I had a coupon for $100 free worth of Google advertising, and I launched that as $20K from a podcast. It looks good on a resume.
I never would even thought to put. See, this is the whole point of the EMF podcast, folks, right here.
Mhm.
Like I've never even thought to put the podcasting.
Yeah.
Excuse me, on my resume.
Content creation is incredible. So people are like, okay, so you can talk to people and you have soft skills. That's really cool. You're able to do something complicated and get it out into the world. A lot of people want podcasting, content marketing, and content creators. That's a job now inside of a corporate structure. So they're always looking for people that they can push over to that, because there's not really a degree for it.
See, I'm gonna have, you know what? I'm actually gonna do that tonight. I'm gonna have podcasting to my resume. I mean, don't get me wrong. I will say I do love my new job. They have treated me so well, especially with the medical stuff going on. They have supported me, and I can't speak more higher of that company. But I mean, if a job would have me do this, I mean, not just EMF and the paranormal consultant stuff, but even as their own, I'd love to do that. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
It's fun.
I've got a work from home job.
Yeah, so that's the big one too. With sales, like podcasting, you do it from home, so you have those skills for keeping yourself organized. But like there was one job in particular, I went in and I was over this. It was a large corporation. I was over their fitness, but they're like, oh, you're a content creator too. So then suddenly I was drafted into the marketing department, and I was doing internal marketing. And then L&D wanted me because they wanted better sound, so I came in and started sound consulting for learning and development. So all of the training videos and stuff that were going out to all the corporate officers and all the personnel, I'm like, okay, so let me reset your microphones for you.
Very nice.
It's just like carryover.
Yeah, I'm serious. I'm not even joking. I'm going on Indeed tonight, and I'm putting that as podcasting.
Mhm.
But that's really cool. So again, folks, I know we got on a little bit of tangent. We were over 2 hours, and see, that's one thing I love about I love about hanging out with people like yourself, Brian, and really everybody in our community is we can take a topic that really, let's just say, has no substance. It's anything, and we can turn it into something that it shows passion, it shows fun, and it has content. To be honest, obviously, people are still watching, but again, folks, if you want to be a part of this new show, EMF Empowering My Field, all you have to do is shoot me a message on the email that is in the chat. Paranormal Consultant 0. Don't ask me about the 0. It's just what Google had at gmail.com. And let me know you want to be on the show. You don't even need to tell me what you want to talk about. Just say, I want to come on the show. Let's go. Let's have some fun. Or you can shoot me a direct message on Facebook. Leave it in the comments, whatever you want to do. I'd be more than happy to have you on. It will be a once a week thing. And if there's no guest, okay, well then I'll do some gaming, or we'll just hang out and see what happens. But either way, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to find out a lot about us, a lot about our community, learn some new things. But the main thing is have fun. Have fun. And the one thing I think Tanner and I want you guys to really take out of this 2 hours is take care of yourself. Take care of yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, and just in total. Because no matter the content, no matter what happens in your life, you, number one, are not alone. You are never alone in this community. Whether it's Parapost, other networks, whatever, you are never alone. Just reach out. If you can hear our voices, you have somebody to go to. And I know Tanner and myself, we are always available, amongst others, are always here for you. And it's okay to be a little selfish like that, to take care of yourself. And no matter what happens, it is only going to be for a short time. And I'm not saying a day or two. Even 6 months is still a short time in the big perspective. I've gone through so much in the past year, 2 years, 3 years, that it's okay to take a break. But I've done some things. I've been at rock bottom mentally, and I made it through. I've had a lot of physical things that needed to get fixed, like my surgery. I thought I might lose my job. I didn't. Thankfully, I didn't. But what I'm saying is, folks, is your mental health is very, very important. And no matter what happens, there will always be somebody there for you, and you will get through it. Asking for help is not a sign of weakness. In actuality, and I'm sure Tanner will agree with me on this, the strongest thing you can do is ask for help.
Mm-hmm.
That is the strongest thing. So seriously, folks, reach out. And again, Amanda just popped in. Hey, Amanda. Welcome.
Here's Pam.
And Pam. I miss you, Pam. Much love to you, Pam. And Pam's going to be on Paranormal Happy Hour, actually, Wednesday, I think.
Paranormal Happy Hour? What's that?
Ooh, that is a good show.
That
is a very good show.
I'm in.
Yeah, well, basically. No, Suzette does an amazing job. That is such a fun show. I love it. I'll tell you. I'll send you the link. Actually,
Cool.
I'll send you the episode with Pam on it.
Yeah.
But there it is.
Wednesday at 5:30. Cool.
Yep, I'll send you the link, Tater. So that way you can see it, and we'll be in the chat supporting Pam and Suzette. It's a blast. But anyway, folks, it is again EMF. I can't reach out. I can't say enough. EMF is so much fun. It's going to be a blast. I'm excited for this. I've never been more excited for a start of a show than I am for EMF. And again, it's empowering my field. Anybody and everybody is welcome. I want to know what you are passionate about, paranormal or not, arts and crafts, mechanics, fishing, D&D, anime, gaming, anything you want to talk about and share your passion with everybody. Come on, talk. Let's come on the show, talk about it. Let's have some fun with it. Let's learn together, and let's mainly have fun. And again, you can just shoot me a message at paranormalconsultant0@gmail.com. Shoot me a message on Facebook, Paranormal Consultant. Message me on YouTube, the chat, whatever. However you want to get a hold of me, and you are more than welcome. And you don't need high-end equipment. You don't need anything. Just bring yourself as you are. And let's celebrate everybody. Let's celebrate. Celebrate our community. Celebrate each other. And let's learn. So, anyway.
Yeah.
Come be our guest sometime.
Yes.
Absolutely. Just message me, Amanda, and we can talk more about it.
As a horror writer, like studying Japanese horror and some of the legends and stuff there, it's absolutely amazing. I will be tuning into that podcast.
And Gabriel, you got to go through the Wicked Queen for that one. But anyway, folks, thank you all so much for joining us tonight. It's really been a lot of fun, and honestly, again, I am super excited for this new show. I'm really excited for the new show, not for myself, but for you guys. I want to know more about you. So, but before we go, Tanner, go ahead and give yourself a shout out on everything you got going on. Anything you want to shout out, go for it.
Sure, more shameless plugs. Yeah. So check me out, Ghost Hunter Advice. We're on Apple, Spotify, everywhere that you listen to podcasts. We're there in the audio format. We have episodes dropping every other Tuesday, and then I am live the second and last Tuesday of every month on Parapost Network. Also, I'm on Through the Lens for a few minutes at the beginning of the show to kick things off. It's teeing off with Tanner. Yeah, I do a lot, and there's a lot of stuff that is coming out, including the GHA Investigator Network, Global Investigations. Through that, if you want to stay informed, you want to know what's coming out, and you want to know about the events, the lives, the books that are coming out this year, go ahead and go over to ghosthunteradvice.com. When you get there, sign up for the newsletter. I'm not going to spam you. You'll get a monthly newsletter that has a blog post, tips for the paranormal, some equipment breakdowns, and of course, what I'm doing in the month to come.
And it's a monthly newsletter that you'll be getting once every 2 hours every day.
No, I hate that. Oh my God. Yeah.
But no, and don't forget also, folks, if you're in the paranormal field and you are looking to help more, Tanner also has something on Ghost Hunter Advice to where you can jump in and help out in the local community, sign up. Yep. I've done it, and there's more information on ghosthunteradvice.com. Go check it out.
If you need an investigation, you can go ahead and click the request investigation. Used to, people just called in and they were telling their stories on the show, but I decided, like, a lot of people don't want to be public about it. So if you want help on the down low, just click request investigation. Give me as much detail as you can. I'll be in touch within 24 hours.
There you go. Also,
I'm a realtor. If you got a haunted house, I'll help you sell your haunted house.
Got one in Central PA that's fairly cheap. Let me know. Never mind. I was going to go somewhere very bad with that, but anyway, we'll say that for another show. But before we get going, I do want to say, give my shout outs as well. You've heard Tanner and I mention this a couple times tonight. Parapost Network. Huge shout out to Brian, who is the creator, CEO, founder, whatever you want to call him. He's the head honcho. He's the Mister of Parapost Network. If you guys don't know what that is, welcome to the show. But Parapost Network is amazing, guys. Go over to Parapost Network Central on Facebook. You'll find not just Ghost Hunter Advice. You won't just find my new show coming up, but you'll find a lot of amazing podcasts with amazing hosts and a great guests. Go check them out. You could also go to parapost.net, sign up for the Parapost network itself. Basically a paranormal Facebook minus all the drama. You can start networking with teams, people from all over the world for free. All you need is an email. And you can find new haunted locations, talk about anything you want paranormal, including equipment. Go check it out, parapost.net, or you can download the app on your Android or iPhone. Doesn't matter, either one. Again, it's free. Just sign up, guys. You will not regret it. Also, it's coming up very, very soon, the Global Ghost Hunt. 10-day celebration of teams and locations from all around the world, hence the global part. Go check it out, guys, globalghosthunt.com. We will be starting the investigations on the 25th, so that is coming up very, 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 very soon. Go to globalghosthunt.com for more information. And if you want to watch and support these teams and the locations, you can find us on Global Ghost Hunt on Facebook or on YouTube. You can watch them for free. It's real investigators, no editing, no the Hollywood stuff. It is actual investigations, legit paranormal teams. And I have a look at the schedule. I've seen the schedule. You guys can see it too if it's on Facebook. You will not regret it. There is some amazing teams and amazing locations this year. And I'm super, super excited to watch them. So go, guys, go check it out for times and details. And then one shameless plug for me. Again, Paravid Studios is back up and running. If you need an intro, outro, promo video, commercial, whatever you want, it doesn't have to just be, yeah, sorry, Amanda, I didn't mean to burst your bubble. If you need anything, basically any video or any type of content to promote what you're up to, it doesn't have to be paranormal. Let me know. Paravid Studios is open. It's on Facebook. You can find me, message me for prices, details, all that good stuff. And I try to be really affordable. So don't worry about it. We can talk, but you're not going to break your bank about it. But you won't get. I do what I can. I do what I can. I'll just say that. But anything else for you, Tanner? You want to talk?
Nah, that's it, man. This is fun.
It was a really great time, guys. And don't go anywhere because I am going to play the promo video as the outro. But please, guys, join me Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern time for the very first initial episode of Empowering My Voice podcast. I got to get used to that. It's not podcast, it's podcast or EMF. Where we're going to be talking to a very special individual who we will talking to them again about something very interesting. I think you guys will really enjoy it. And again, if you want to be a part of EMF, shoot me a message. I'll just keep it simple. Just shoot me a message. We'll get you on. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Tanner, my brother, thank you so much for hanging out with me. It's been too long. We have got to keep this going because I love it. I love hanging out with you. But anyway, guys, I guess there's really there's only one more thing left for me to say. And man, I missed this. Y'all have yourselves a great rest of your night. Stay safe, guys. Seriously, stay safe. That's the main thing. Stay safe. And as always, folks, missed it. You know it. Do you remember it? I know, corny as hell, wasn't that? Anyway, happy awnings. I'm not done yet.